Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister who received this message, and she gave us this translation. The translation reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Is anonymous. So me and my wife, we ended up doing something that we never thought that we were going to do. Since me and my wife, we had been devoted Christians. What really hurts me right now is that even though we used to be devoted Christians, now it is just a matter of us going to church just for the sake of going to church because of the things that me and my wife did. Me and my wife, we supported each other on the day when my wife got so angry, so much that I could not even control her. And I thought that what she was doing was okay by beating up our maid. She then died later on from internal wounds. And brother, we did a lot of things so that this case will never go anyway. We never thought that it was going to come to this. And me and my wife, we have been living in fear for the past few years. We are being haunted not just by the guilt of what we have done, but by something that is far much more terrifying, the ghost, the spirit of our maid. It all started with our maid. She was young, quiet, and she was obedient, but there were days when she would make mistakes. She had become too comfortable, thinking that she was part of the family, yet she was just a domestic worker. So me and my wife, since we had our small shop, and at all the times, we always had money that would be in the house. Some of it we could not even know how much we would be having in the house because the money will be lying everywhere. She then started to take advantage of that. She was stealing the money and stealing. It then happened that my wife, she wanted to give her mother some money because she was supposed to go on a church conference. But after my wife had stored the money in our bedroom, one day when we returned back from work, she wanted to count the money. That was when she saw that the money, it was missing from our bedroom. So we thought that maybe amongst our kids, one of our children had stolen the money. But later on, after we had installed a secret camera in our bedroom, that was when we found out that she was the one who had been taking the money and stealing the money from us. My wife wanted to confront her. Maybe if only I had allowed my wife to confront our maid about this missing money, maybe our maid could not have died. But what we did then was that I told my wife that it was far much better to let it go, because what I had liked about her was that the way that she used to take care of our child, that is what I had liked about her. Then I said, instead of us treating her this bad, let us just let her be. Maybe she just stole the money because she wanted to use the money. But my wife now had a grudge with our maid. Then there was this other day, like she was in the habit of forgetting to clean things properly, burning the food whilst watching TV. One day, after a bad argument, my wife lost her temper. Then she struck her so hard, and even though I saw that my wife was angry and frustrated, I should have stopped her from hitting our worker. But I let her hit her harder because I wanted her to vent out her frustration that she had been keeping in her heart for a very long time. This woman, she cried, but my wife did not stop. She did not seem seriously hurt afterwards. It was like she was just bruised. We thought that she was going to recover and to move on. The next morning, we saw that she was unable to get out of bed. We quickly called one of our family doctors who came and checked up on her, and then we were told that if we were going to take her to the hospital, this woman, she could get us arrested. She was weak, she was in pain, barely even able to breathe. We were scared. That was when we called her relatives, and we told her relatives that we wanted her to get arrested because she had been stealing from us. We showed them the footage, and they begged us, and they said, please, if you can only give us our daughter, we can return back with her to the village, because we can see that the evidence is there. She has been stealing from you. She's a thief. We do not want her to get arrested. She's still too young. Then we gave her them some money. They took her to the hospital, and they promised us that they were not going to say what had happened to him. And when she was taken away, even though she was receiving good medical attention even from our doctor, after that, she then passed away. She passed away 2 days later. We were horrified. We could not believe what we had done. We knew that we would be blamed, so we used our money and influence to make the case so that it can disappear. We had this other family friend of ours who was a police official. He was the one who made it possible that he can also be the one who would be handling that case. He went and he interrogated the relatives of this woman, saying that they were benefiting from the money that she was stealing from us, because at that time when my wife was busy beating her up, she confessed that indeed she used to send some money to her mom. So her mom then was taken from the village and was returned back to the city where she was interrogated. This was done so that we can plant that seed of fear in their hearts until they decided to let it go. And when we heard that they had decided to let it go, not to pursue this case anymore, we thought that we could just move on and no one was ever going to know. But we were wrong. Not long after, strange things started to happen. At night, we could hear our late maid's voice whispering in the dark. Footsteps, they will be echoing down the hallway. But when we would check, we will see that no one will be there. As for our children, they were once healthy. They started getting sick. We called our family doctor. He came and he could not explain the reason as to why they always have these constant fevers and strange rashes, especially on their private parts. They can wake up screaming, saying that they are seeing a woman who will be standing in front of their beds, her face bruised and bloody, just like what our maid was after my wife had beaten her up. Our nights, they are like torture, like prison. We always hear the sound of something that will be dragging itself across the floor. Sometimes we can hear a woman that will be weeping, shadows moving in the corner of our eyes. We can wake up and we can even find bruises on our own bodies. We tried to stop this. We once prayed, we went to pastors until we consulted with the traditional healer. At that time, we had already gotten someone who was willing to buy our house. That traditional healer said that it was by God's grace that we had came to his shrine, because if we were going to sell that house to that person, we were all going to die or to run mad. We said, why? That traditional healer then said that for the rest of your lives, you are supposed to stay there. A ghost, a spirit is supposed to torment you. Otherwise, if it does not have the pleasure of tormenting you, then it can make you to run mad. But now, Brother Nashi, the problem is that we cannot sleep anymore. Me and my wife, we bought 2 couches that we placed in our bedroom. The moment that we try to sleep on the bed, we see the ghost of this woman. As for our children, the moment that the sun goes down, their temperature will get high and they will be so sick. And they are innocent in all of this, but they are the ones now that are suffering the most. We thought that our money was going to solve everything, but now I can see that no amount of money, even though we used money, can bring us peace. Currently, we are looking for a very powerful traditional healer who can assist us. We are here in Zim. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.